Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare. Everyone, interesting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you. Welcome all the devotees who are online present. So, we are on the last session of this course, Discover Yourself. Congratulations for completing this course. So, till now, what we have studied, we'll just revise whatever you all remember. Summer, what do you remember from so many days of so many sessions what we went through?
Next thing I like Swan, Swan and Crow.
Swan and Crow. Can you please explain
As
us?
a swan is a royal bird which only drinks milk, even if it drinks milk and water.
Yes.
We will get only milk from.
Swan is a royal bird,
Yes.
and he has a speciality that if the milk and water is mixed and brought in front of him, he will just suck only milk and leave the water. That is the capacity. And what crow does?
Scavenger.
Yeah, crow is a scavenger, go to kill the place, and he just nonsense. So we have to decide whether I want to be a crow or a swan. That's very nice. Okay, anything else? What do you remember? Rajat? What we studied last time? The formula we studied. Yeah, the formula of A, B, C, D, E. All of you know A, B, C, D, E formula. So those who doesn't know ABCD formula, A for apple, B for ball. No, it is A for association of a devotee. That we have to have a very right association. If you have a right association, then we can progress nicely. And that right association is called as a satsanga. That you come and stay in the association, holy association of a devotee, by which you will understand about God. Then B stands for books. So which books to be read, and which books not to be read. That's very important to differentiate. And if you can differentiate, and if you read Bhagavad Gita, which is a book which is accepted, admired all over the world, and that's the best book which somebody can read and refer, and it will be very much useful for the whole life. Like we saw that Bhagavad Gita is a book which gives you the guidance for how to lead your life, how to do things in your properly in your life. So books are very important. Then we also saw C. Kuntal, C stands for what? A stands for association, B stands for books, C stands for okay. It was a sudden thing for him. He just sat and then immediately asked the question. Yes, anybody? C stands for chanting. Chanting the holy name of Lord. Chanting the holy name of Lord is the most powerful medium by which we can connect ourselves with the God. Then D stands for dance. Yeah, dance and kirtan. And D also stands for diet. You are what you take in. You become a personality what you take in. So we have to have a very Krishna conscious diet. We have to have Krishna Prasad. If it goes inside, then our consciousness, our thought process, our everything will become very proper. And then we also saw the E, last thing, E for engagement. If we are not engaged in the service of Lord, then we cannot connect ourselves to the Lord. And then we will be engaged in somebody else's service. Like a boy is engaged in the service of someone, and he goes and plucks a flower, gets the flower, please accept. We can do the same thing. We go pluck the flower and offer it to Krishna. And then he say, let's go for a dine. And then they go for a dinner. And then similarly, we go and make some nice food for Krishna and then offer it. Or they say, let's have a party, let's dance. We also say, yes, let's dance. Well, let's have Hare Krishna, and then we dance. So the point is, we have to engage ourselves in the service of God. If you are engaged in the service of God, we will be able to connect to Him nicely. Well, everybody in this world is engaged in some kind of service. We cannot stay without service. And that's why the Swarupa, the Haribol, it's distracting. So the Swarupa or the nature of a living entity is to engage in the service. So whose service we have to engage? That's very important. So if you are not engaged in service of God, we will be engaged in somebody's service. Like by default, a son has to serve mother, father and mother serve son. If it is an employer and employee serves employer, and then employer also in return has to serve employee. And it is teachers or teacher and student, it can be anyone. So ultimately, everybody has to render service. Like you see every time these politicians come in front of you, they fold their hand. Now you will see so much happening because there is corporation election. They'll come and say what they say. हमें आपकी सेवा करने का मौका दो. Please give us opportunity to serve you. So service is always happening, but then whom to serve is very important. There is a, I always tell this story. There was this old lady. She used to travel from one village to another village, and then when she was traveling, she used to carry log of wood and she used to sell in other marketplace. In between there was a jungle, so it was a tough road for her to go and walk. So when she used to go, one day suddenly she fell down with her, the log of wood, and she said, hey Govinda," she shouted. And then immediately God, Krishna came in front of her and said, "Oh mother, what do you want?" So she said, "Can you do one thing? Can you just lift this wooden thing and put on my head so that I can go and sell and I can get 50 paisa after selling these things?" Now, who is that? That is God Himself. What is this lady asking? She could have asked that, give me crores of rupees, and, and give me a sea facing bungalow or whatever, desired thing. Or she could have asked that, please give me a place in Swargaloka. Or she could have asked the ultimate thing that give me a Vaikunta. But then what this lady asked, that give me this wooden thing, wood, and I'll carry it and sell it in the next marketplace and I'll get 50 paisa. So this is an unfortunate situation, what we go through. That we are engaged in somebody else's service, what that person can give us a tiny amount of money, some kind of pleasure, which is also a very small, insignificant. And then we go and serve that person or serve that particular thing, which is not going to bring us the ultimate result. But if we serve Krishna, who can grant us anything what we want, and the best of the thing of this world, the ultimate happiness he can offer us. So that's why it is our choice that we have to serve whom. So he's a supreme Lord who can give us, who can reward us, award us so much. So it's better that we go and serve him. If we serve, then we'll be really peaceful, blissful, and happy. So engagement is a E. E stands for engagement. So A, B, C, D, E formula is very important, which we discussed in the last class. Anybody from online wants to share something what they remember from our discussion? How can I see who is online? Ayush, you want to say something? Whatever you remember from discussion for so many times. Soham, now don't ask me to take everybody's name. You also don't keep there. Yes, Pramod. What do you remember from so many months of discussion, so many days of discussion? Kuntal, you also try to remember. Okay, we discussed about ABCD formula. And who are you? I'm Kaustubh Das. Okay.
Prabhu, the real problems of our life.
The real problems of our life. Yes. What are the real problems of life, Sam?
Birth, death, disease, old age.
Birth, death, disease, and old age. These are the real problems. Have you heard about it? There are 4 problems of life. If somebody asks you that, what is the problem of your life? And then say, traffic jam hai Pune mein bahut. The problem of life, oh, I got a headache and then I cannot focus and I cannot remember. The problem of life is that food which is given is not good. The problem of life is pani nahi aa raha hai. Tanki mein pani nahi. Anything can be a problem. And that can become the biggest problem of his life. But then those problems can be solved. You go to a corporation, you request somebody, and then so those problems have a solution. But there are problems which does not have a solution. It cannot be solved easily. There is only a spiritual practice which can help you to solve. So which are those 4 problems? But you cannot avoid it. And it's a very, very painful thing. Death cannot avoid. Janam bhi hai, mrityu aana hi hai. Cannot avoid it. But disease, we go through so many suffering, so many problems. It can be corona, it can be plague, it can be anything, any varieties of disease. Can't avoid. The whole pharmacy has to sit for the giving medicine about it. And then 4th, old age. Everybody is trying to achieve. Now, I was just discussing with one of my friends that what I was 20 when I was 25, I was very different. And what I am now when I'm 37, very different. And when I'll be 47, 50, I'll be completely different. And then, I go and conduct a program for old people nearby. And then just today with this lady was saying, today I'm 95-year-old. I'm a retired teacher. And, I'm very old now. Mhm. So the old age cannot be avoided. And there are so many people who are trying. They are putting a lot of cream. And the whole cosmetic industry is trying to make people young. And then all protein and this and that. Everybody is trying to make people young, but that's not possible. Old age cannot be avoided. So nice points on the four problems of our life. So can we solve this? Yes, we can solve this. Because if you have taken birth, the death is going to come. In between, old age and disease is going to come. So this cycle is going to continue. How can you solve the problem? We break this cycle. How we can break this cycle? By connecting ourselves with God, we can break this cycle and we can attain ultimate happiness and we can be free from these four problems of life. Okay. Digvijay, you want to say something?
Yes, Roji.
Hmm.
Uh, yes. I also remember we are not, we are the soul. We are not this body, and
So
then
who are we?
this poor problem.
Follow who are you? So I am not this body, I am soul. That's very important fact, knowledge, which Krishna speaks a lot in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says this Atma, you are a soul, you are Atma, you are not this body. And everybody has to understand, focus on this knowledge. If we can understand this, you can understand the real identity. And then you being a soul, what is your job, where you have to get connected, all these discussions will start. Because as soon as we identify I'm engineer, then our the whole job process, the thought process goes as an engineer. As soon as I'm a man, and then our thought process goes in that way. As soon as we think that I'm a citizen of India, our thought process goes in that way. So similarly, as soon as we think that I am not this body, I am a soul, our thought process has to go in that same direction. I being a soul, how I can be happy? What is the food for soul? Like we always give this example of a queen who had a parrot, and she used to love that parrot very much. So she said, I love this parrot very much, so I'll do one thing, I'll get a cage for the parrot. And I'm a queen, I have a lot of opulence, so I'll get the gold made cage for this parrot. And she got a gold made cage. And then she started decorating the whole cage, golden cage with diamonds and rubies and so many things. Every day she used to polish this thoroughly. While doing all these things, whatever the mirchi or peru or tomato, whatever is required for this parrot, she would not give because she was busy decorating the cage. So what happened after some time? This parrot used to say hi, hello, welcome, and then after some time he says hi, hello, welcome, and then he says hi, and he could not speak, and then one day he was thought that he's dead, and then it's been oh my parrot is dead, my parrot is dead, and then the sage came to you were just spending your time decorating the cage. So similarly, the parrot is like a soul who needs a food. But what we are doing, we are getting the best of the shampoos, and from the hairs to nails, we are decorating the cage, which is a body, and then we are hardly taking care of our soul. So what is the food for soul? Prasad? Yes, what is the food for soul? Kaustubh?
Chanting.
Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the food for soul. By reading, gaining a knowledge about Krishna, studying the books, hearing this knowledge, taking Krishna Prasad is the food for soul. So soul is a very subtle thing. You cannot say that our soul wants pizza, our soul wants burger. No, what he wants is connection to the God, and that connection can establish by chanting the holy name of Lord. Okay, anything else? Yes, Kuntal, what do you remember?
They've already said.
They already said still something which was striking, which you felt, yeah, this is the best thing I learned here. Okay, think about it. Tejas.
The first two lectures in which proofs were given, about God's existence.
Yes.
There is a painting, there is a painter.
Yes.
So of course, if there is a universe, there is someone who has created it, who is still maintaining it.
Yes.
So those groups were very interesting.
God is a designer. God is a controller, maintainer. That's very nice point. Behind the painting, there is a painter. Similarly, behind this whole creation, there is a creator. And who is that creator is very important to find out. Like somebody comes and say that, there was a blast. And then this whole earth and the whole thing came in between. And that became a Big Bang theory. But anybody found there was a blast and then something has come out of it. Did you? Just not possible. There's just a destruction after a blast. So this Big Bang theory is even eventually rejected. Just from the blast, something cannot come out. Or somebody said that this body is made up of just few chemicals came together and this body was made. Or this whole creation is just a mixture of some chemicals. So you know that in the device the calculation of all the chemicals which can make your body was done and it was 110 rupees. Our body cost is just 110 rupees according to a chemical bond theory. So science is talking about their creation, their research, but then we can scientifically also prove the existence of a God. And then logically we understand that if there is a painter, if there is a painting, there is a painter. Similarly, if this creation is there is a creator behind it. Good. Anybody else want to say something? Don't remember anything?
Yes, I do.
So say.
Three types of flesh.
3 types of clash. Oh, that's very important. That everybody is suffering. So there are 3 kinds of suffering which are always there. One is Adi, Bhautika Klesha. I always give example of Adi Bhautik means the people surrounded by you or some things around you. So there are terrorists who comes into this Adi Bhautik, or there is a mosquito who can be a trouble to you. That is the Adi Bhautika Klesha. Recently I went to a place and almost like if you sit at that place and around you there will be 100 to 200 mosquitoes. You can't sit at that place. It's so horrible. It was a klesha for me. It was a trouble for me. So similarly, this Adi Bhautika Klesh, then there is next is Adi Daivika Klesh. Daivika Klesh, there is suddenly a lot of rain, or there is suddenly floods, or there is tsunami, or there is earthquake. This is all ordained by somebody who is a superior in nature. That's Adi Daivika Klesh. And then there is the Adi Atmika Klesh. What is that? The trouble caused by our own mind. Our own mind troubles us so much. Our mind will tell you. I always give this example. If somebody gets a fever, doctor advises him that don't go and take oily thing. And doctor's advice, it's written in the prescription, and then he comes out, and then he walks, and then he goes to a medical shop and purchases it. Then, he comes out and then walks for 2-3 shops, and there is suddenly a smell, fragrance of a vada pav coming or samosa coming, and then he'll say, his mind is telling, go eat one. Execution of that. There's no problem. And then he's dragged himself to this. And then by the time he desires for one, he purchases 4 vada pav. And then he goes to home, eat nicely vada pav. And then that night he has a heavy fever, like 104.5, almost close to death, 105. And then he says, the same mind says, you rascal, I told you not to eat vada pav. Doctor is also told not to eat vada pav. You still went. So this mind is always cheating us. It's always playing us. And that's why we are in trouble. That is Adhyatmika Klesha or Adi Atmika Klesha. Nice, good points are coming out. Waiting for Kuntal to say something. Don't get pressurized. Okay, so let's know about the discover yourself. Discover the essence of true unity in diversity. The session number 8. Online devotees can see the slide. Okay. So, if God is one, like we say the one egg here, Sabka Malik egg. So if God is one, then why there are so many religions? Why there are so many paths? Or there is a famous thing that all paths leads to one goal. There are multiple paths. Ultimately, they lead to one goal. So if somebody has to go to Mumbai, and then he takes a route which goes to expressway. He takes another one takes a route through an old highway. Another say that I will go to Khandala. And there are things, somebody will say that, I'll go to Nasik and then from Nasik I'll go to Mumbai. And somebody will say that, I'll go to some other place and then take a detour and come. So there are multiple ways, but the goal is to reach to Mumbai. So all different paths leads to one goal. Similarly, there is one God. That there are why so many religions? Like you see in this slide, there's so many religions. So God is one. Then why are there so many religions? So we see people with shikha, with topi, somebody the white gown, or somebody is like have a cross around him. You see so many varieties. So there is different religions. And if you see the definition of a dharma or religion in Oxford Dictionary, what they say? Religions means faith. But then religion means or dharma of a living entity. Is it only a faith? No. Like every dharma also can be understood as a nature. Like everything has a dharma. I always talk about this that chili has a dharma. What is it? Spicy. Sugar has a dharma that is sweet. Similarly, a human being also has a dharma that is being servant to God. But then somebody says, because I believe in this particular faith, because I am born in this particular religion, this religion is the best. And there is so much of quarrel and fight. But no, religion just does not mean faith. Religion means to understand about our core nature. But then people have varieties of understanding. So if God is one, why can't there be a flat rule for everybody? There has to be a flat rule for everybody. Like, if somebody is driving a vehicle in India, they drive on left and the driver sits on right. You go to US, then they drive on the right and then, they drive on the right and the driver is sitting on the left. Why there are two different rules? There has to be same rule everywhere because the job is to drive. But no, everybody has their own acceptance, level, capacity, understanding about something. And that's why there are varieties of a rule. And that's how the thing is going. Why many religions? There is Stoicism, Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. There is atheist. That is also one kind of religion that don't believe, non-believers of God. In Buddhist, there is Islam, there is Sikh, there is Hinduism, and so many. So, it's very important to understand that what is the real religion. The real religion is to connect ourselves to the God, and being servant to the God. If we are not able to connect ourselves to God or being servant to God, we'll just mislead. And that's why in the beginning only I was talking about being servant. We are servant, we will have to serve someone. As I said, that a student has to serve teachers, follow the orders of teacher. And teacher also in terms has to go and teach and serve a student. Similarly, employer and employee, similarly, husband and wife, or child and parents. There has to be a service. So, if there is to be a service, we have to understand the nature of a living entity is to serve. And that's what we see in so many, all different varieties of religion. The teaching is almost similar. If you take up Christianity, what they say? That you surrender to God. Or, you worship, Jesus is there, Jesus is the messenger of God, and the messenger of God has to be served. Take a Muslim or the Mohammedan, and there also they have this kind of similar understanding that Allah ko sharnagat hona hai. If you are not believer, non-believer of Allah, then there is jihad and so many things. Hinduism talk about it, Buddhists talk about it. So there are many religions, but we have to understand the ultimate goal of that. The ultimate goal is to serve. So whom to serve? Like in different religions, how they came in existence, we'll just try to understand this. There's a description which comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam talks about it that there will be religion which will be established 2000 years before. There will be religion which will be established some 1400 years before. So that has happened. Like Jesus who came into existence, it was in 2000 years before around. So what happened that time? There were a group of people staying in some particular area who were not having any clear understanding that how should I lead my life? What should I do? And that's why the Jesus, who is a messenger of God, who came in that particular religion for those kind of people who could understand only that much, not more than that. Like Vedic knowledge is a vast knowledge, but these people could accept only that. That, oh God, please give us daily bread. And then God showered a bread, and then they got a bread. Or they understood that compassion is the only good quality which we have to develop. Or they understood that you pray to God, you go in front of God, kneel down, and then pray to Him, and then you will get something. So that was the capacity which they could accept, they could understand, and that's what they got. Or some other religion came, and then there were the 10 commandments, and then you follow these 10 commandments, and then like in the Christianity they say that thou shalt not be killed. So thou shalt not be killed means there should not be anybody you should kill. The mansahar, what people, non-veg people eat, that is not allowed according to religion, even in the Christianity. But then later on, people change. There are so many people who come and then they give their own understanding, and then they say, "Thou shalt not be killed" means only a human is the thou, and human should not be killed. But there are so many living entities who are alive and who should not be killed. But then they misinterpreted, and because of that misinterpretation, they kill so many animals. And then there is, but then because this religion is misinterpreted, we are misled, and that's why we have to take a knowledge which is as it is. Like we gain this knowledge from Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is given by Srila Prabhupada, which comes in parampara. That is also another important topic we studied. That we have to gain knowledge which comes in parampara. If it is if you want authoritative knowledge, it has to come from the parampara. If there is no parampara, if there is no connection to God, and then from that connection, if it is not coming, that knowledge is not of use. So this different, like about Mohammedism also, about the Muslim religion also. There's a description comes in Bhagavatam that Muhammad will come and then he spread this particular knowledge. And then those people who can accept this knowledge are actually very low kind of people who can understand only that much, and they will accept this knowledge and try to spread. Now this jihad and all these things are all concocted. Again, that is a misinterpretation. Or there is a mention, they have mentioned that only you can, okay, you people cannot stay without non-veg food, so you can eat on Friday. What they did, they misinterpreted. What was the misinterpretation? That only on Friday you should not eat, rest of the days you can eat. And then that's from that only they got this concept that only on Friday you should take bath, otherwise there is no need to take bath. Varieties of things. So this is all misinterpretation. So I'm here not to criticize any religion, but the point is that what we have as a Vedic student or a Vedic knowledge is one of the vast and the best knowledge, which gives you the understanding from top to down everything. That who are you from that understanding to what you can achieve. Like the different religions have this understanding that if you perform a good work, you go to heaven. If you perform a bad work, you will go to hell or Jannat or Jahannam. तुमको जन्नत जाना है या जहन्नुम जाना है. That is the understanding people have. But then beyond this Jannat Jahannam, there is some world which exists. Beyond this hell and heaven, there is a world which exists. And that is what? That is Vaikuntha. That is a spiritual plane, spiritual sky, where we can go. And that's what the religion which speaks about is a Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma, or the religion which talks about God, incomplete. That is in a Vedic scripture, and that's why we have to sincerely embrace these Vedic scriptures by which we will be benefited. As I said, there are different routes. Like sometimes we say in this, that you can eat like this, or you can eat like this. Or if somebody has to go to Mumbai, he say that I will go to Mumbai by Luna, or somebody say I will go to Mumbai by walk, and somebody say I will go to Mumbai by my own car. I'll go to Mumbai by train. I'll go to Mumbai by flight. I have my own helicopter. I'll go to Mumbai by helicopter. I'll go by jet. So different people have different ways of going. So similarly, there are multiple religions. Which religion you want to follow, that depends. Somebody wants to follow some particular religion, which is just talking about some plane and not the higher principle. It is like going by Luna or going by walk. But then our Vedic knowledge, it gives you a jet, and by you can just sit in the jet, within few moments, you are there at your destination. And that's why this particular understanding about God is very, very important. And understanding that there may be different ways, different paths which goes to or lead to one goal. But which is the best path, which is a royal road, that is our Vedic knowledge. the scriptural knowledge which Vedas give is the royal route and which we have to follow. And then how do we have to follow? We have to follow from the best personalities, that is our Srila Prabhupada, who is the ambassador from the spiritual world. So there is always an ambassador, like somebody recently was telling that this Madhuri Dixit is the ambassador for PNG, Pune Gadge. We went for purchasing some gold for Lord, and they were telling. So similarly, for our spiritual world, who is the ambassador? That is Srila Prabhupada. He is a devotee of Lord. He is a very great devotee of Lord who came, who wrote so many scriptures, who went to America. He gave this message of Krishna consciousness to the world, by which the whole world got benefited. And that's why we have to understand that from whom we will get the right inspiration, from right knowledge, and we have to follow that person. We'll see a video now. At the end, we'll see this video, not now, about Prabhupada, who is the ambassador, and how he is ambassador, because he went and gave this knowledge all over the world. There is not a single country from where there is no devotee connected to ISKCON or Prabhupada. There are people everywhere in the world, every city, every country in the world, people are chanting Hare Krishna. That is a glory. Recently, somebody sent me a video of all small African boys in those African villages and in jungles. They are doing Hare Krishna, in that, that African tone, they are chanting Hare Krishna, where they're not able to pronounce also properly. Recently, I met a devotee from China. China is the horrible country. From there also people are becoming devotee. And then how you chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, because they cannot pronounce R. But still you are chanting. He was devoted to God. He was so much surrendered to God. So the point is that we have to have some very great personalities who are so much elevated. And they are the ambassadors of the spiritual world. So principles of every religion are same. Approach a spiritual master. God is one. Love God. Obey God's law. Return to the God's kingdom. Sin no more. And glories of the holy name. So you go and see the Christianity or in the Muslim religion, they carry rosary beads. Or the Christian people also carry rosary. Muslims have some other name, and they are also chanting something. We chant the name of Allah. Allah means what? Almighty. Or Rama means all pleasure giving. Krishna means all attractive. This is the meaning of the name. So they are chanting. And for that, what they do? They go to Father, and then they confess to a Father, and they gain knowledge from the Father. The Father is giving a lecture, and then understand. So what they do? The principle is very same. We tell that you go to a Guru and gain the knowledge about God. So our principle is approach a spiritual master. That's very important. So every religion talks about it. Every religion says God is one. So love your God. So we say that Krishna is that supreme person of Godhead. Like many people have this understanding that in Hinduism, there are 32 crore gods. Which one to follow? There is no single God. No, but what these 32 crore are saying, that Krishna, Vishnu, is the supreme person of Godhead, and he is the supreme Lord. He is the only one supreme Lord whom we have to worship. But he may come in different avatars. Vishnu comes as a Narasimha, he comes as a Kurma, and then he comes as Vamana Avatara, he comes as Krishna, he comes as Balarama. There may be different avatars which he comes into. But he is this one person who is the supreme person of God. That is very clear. And then, other gods like, the Chandra, Indra, Surya, or Ganapati, or, so many other gods, or Devi or Devata, they are all subordinates to God. Like, in the Indian government, there is Prime Minister. And below Prime Minister, there is a Finance Minister, there is a Construction, and there's so many other varieties of ministers. All those ministers, they report to Prime Minister. Similarly, all these demigods, they are also powerful, and they all receive the power from God, that is Krishna. And then they report to Krishna, or they receive all the energies from Krishna. And from there, the things come. So God is one, that is Krishna, and we have to love God. Obey the God's law is a principle. Everybody said, like 10 commandments is the laws of God. Or every religion you go, there are rules and regulations. What are those rules and regulations? Follow those rules and regulations. Bhagavad Gita gives so many rules and regulations which a living entity has to follow. If you don't follow, if you don't obey the law, what happens? We get into a trouble. You are on the road, you see a signal, red signal, you cross it. Mama is standing on the other side. come, baju mein. And then you get a receipt, 500, 1,000, 5,000, whatever. And then you say, oh, I should have obeyed the all. It is just a matter of 1 minute. I could have waited, and then I could have got the green signal to go. But you say no. If as soon as you don't obey the law, we get punishment. Similarly, God has made some rules and regulations, and we must obey those laws. It's very important thing. Return to the God's kingdom. Everybody says ultimately where you have to go, Jannah. No, Jannah. Sorry, everyone else wants to go to Jannah. Ultimately, where you want to go? I want to go to heaven. Similarly, the kingdom of God is called as a Vaikunta, which is a very, very high planet and where everybody should desire to go. We have discussed about this previously. There's a material sky, there's the spiritual sky. The spiritual sky is Vaikunta, where we have to reach. And for reaching to that Vaikunta, for obeying the law, what we have to do? No sin more, sin no more. We should not perform any sin. So what are the sins? Well, drink, alcohol, that is intoxication. No intoxication. Intoxication is bad for health. Intoxication is as equally worse for the spiritual practice. No intoxication. What else is the sin? No gambling. Don't cheat others. Don't get cheated. And the gambling is the biggest way people cheat each other. So no gambling. What is another sin person can perform? Is no illicit sex. And you are allowed to marry your wife, and then you can have relationship with your wife. But apart from your wife, no illicit sex. Before marriage, no illicit sex. It's not allowed. It's not good. It's bad. It's sinful. And you get so many reactions because of that sin. So, no illicit sex. And what is the fourth thing? No meat eating. We should not eat meat because that is not meant for human beings. Those are meat eaters, those animals. Those who eat meat, they have long, long teeth. We don't see a human being. Only Rakshasas with the long teeth. They are shown. We are not Rakshasas. We are human beings. That's not meant for us. Our intestine, you go and study biologically, the size of intestine of a human is how much? It is 9 meters. 9 meters is the size of intestine of a human being. What is the size of a tiger's intestine? It's just 1 feet. So as soon as he eats flesh, he can digest it. But what happens with human? That he travels for those 9 meters all over the body. And while traveling for 9 meters, it takes at least 10 to 12 hours. By that time, that already something which is rotten produces a chemical, which is a very, very harmful thing for the body. And that's why a lot of people who have a lot of diseases because of this, eating of meat. The meat is not biologically also, and it has a lot of psychological effects. It has, first of all, we are troubling somebody who is innocent. He's like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Bija Prajapita. I am the seed-giving father of all the living entities. So if the Krishna is father, then all living entities are our brothers and sisters. Please understand, our brothers and sisters are featured in front of us. And they're served in our plate to eat. Just can't think about it. It's so dangerous. Similarly, these animals which are butchered, they are our own brothers and sisters. We cannot kill them. We have to have that humanitarianism. We have to understand it. It's very important. And that's why meat eating is a very, very sinful thing. So, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. These are the 4 things which are considered as sin. And we should completely avoid this sin. Who can repeat? Samarth, can you repeat? Which are the 4 things? No illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling. Very good. That I'll perform. No intoxication. Once again, no intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex. So if somebody performs that, then he receives a lot of strong punishment. If somebody is very interested in performing illicit sex, what happens to him? He is dragged to hell. In the hell, he is forced to embrace a iron putala, which is burning with a fire. Can you imagine you are asked to embrace an iron putala of a woman is burning with a fire? You are forced to do that. That's very, very painful. And somebody is very much interested in drinking intoxication or something like that. What is supposed to do is, there is all ubla hua loha. They pour inside his mouth, and then he has that body which has to go through only suffering. He doesn't die after so much pain. He doesn't die. If somebody is troubling, cheating, and gambling, that person, what he's doing, what they do in hell, there's a very huge tree which has sharp nails kind of thing. They put that person on that tree and then drag him down for feet together. And that's all. This all discussion comes. And this is very, very deadly. So sin no more. No performance of sin. Then what am I supposed to? Okay, fine. I understand that I have to reach to the principle of all the religions is to reach to the kingdom of God. For that I will not perform sin. Then what else I should perform? That's what should ask. So I should chant the holy name of Lord. If you chant the holy name of Lord, we will be benefited. In next session, when we meet again, we are going to exclusively discuss about chanting the holy name of Lord. So by this, so there are 6 principles. If one follows these 6 principles, he will be benefited. Otherwise, he will just suffer. Sacrifice and renunciation of a material pleasure. We cannot remain atheist and wear the garb of secularism. We have to practice these principles. Very important. You go to Hindus, I'm secular. I don't know. Recently there's a video which is being circulated where say, Prabhu, please take Bhagavad Gita. He said, no Bhagavad Gita, I'm a secular. Just people are wearing this cap of a secularism and thinking that we are safe. We are not. No, we should not do that. We are cheating ourselves, we are cheating to the world. That's not good. So there is no, and then somebody, I am non-believer of God. Maybe God does not exist. Maybe there is nothing called God. Why? Because you are lethargic. Because you are reluctant. You don't want to you don't want to obey the laws of God, and that's why you're calling yourself atheist. That is nonsense. You have to prove that God does not exist. You ask us that can you prove God exists? We can prove scientifically, we can prove logically, we can prove so many ways God exists. But similarly, this non-believer of God who is atheist should also prove that God does not exist. He will not be able to prove. And that's why we have to happily accept that I am a servant of God and I have a religion to practice. That is a Vedic religion. We should happily practice that religion. That's very important. Scripture based on the audience, a person's capacity. As I was saying, that those persons, they have that much of capacity, and that's why that particular religion came and they could accept that only. So 2 minus 5, a elementary boy. What will you say? Minus 3. The elementary boy will not understand. 2 minus 5? I never saw. There's a bigger number, then you can minus easily, but if there's a smaller number, how it's convenient. High school boys say, yeah, it's minus 3. And then you go to graduation in his he has the formula ready to understand that. So all animals except a pig and dog can be eaten after sacrifice. This is what Islam says. Roman Catholic take a meat every day except Friday. This is what a Christianity says. Meat eating is a pillar of sinful life, and a true spiritual life cannot begin until we show mercy towards all. So somebody is an elementary student, elementary kind of capacity to understand the knowledge, his consciousness is degraded. He will say that I can eat all the animals except pig and dog. No, sir, you should not actually. But then he has only that much capacity to understand and grab. Okay, fine. There's somebody little higher, he say, okay, I can eat just meat, but meat should not be eaten on except Friday, I can eat meat every day. A little grown up. But one who is a graduate, one who is really elevated, one who has understood Vedic scripture, he knows that meat eating is a sinful pillar and I should not do this. That is what the Sanatana Dharma talks about it. How old is Sanatana Dharma? Somebody may ask. Islam is 1300 years before. Christianity is 2000 years before. Buddhism is 2500 years before. And this all proofs are there. Before this religion came into existence, already in Srimad Bhagavatam, all the descriptions given that when, who will come, and where he'll establish, how he'll establish that particular religion. And Bhagavad Gita spoken 5000 years before. So minimum, Sanatana Dharma, if you want to understand, it is minimum 5000 years. Actually, it is lakhs and lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of years. At least it is minimum 5,000 from the down of creation. So you see that tree where it is going. No, you can't see because there is no end to it, and that's why this is called as a Sanatana. Sanatana means there is no beginning, there is no end. This religion started when the creation started, and this religion will end never. It will go on continuously. So if somebody says that, oh, Hindus are in minority, something will happen to Hinduism, don't worry. This is Sanatana religion, which will remain for eternity. What we have to do to keep it for eternity, to practice ourselves and preach about it. And for that, we have to enthusiastically read books, take books, and move ahead in life. Sanatana Dharma is an eternal religion. Sanatana refers to eternal. Sanatana is often called as Hinduism, Islam, Quran. Sanatana Dharma and Islam, understanding. Individual soul, they also call it as a रूह. There is किसी की जिंदगी रूह होती है. There is a spiritual chit. They have this similar understanding of Gujarat. I'm not so much studied into it. I'm not getting more into detail. Do they say the same things? The Kazi replied, what you referred as a jiva, individual soul, we call it as a ruh. This ruh is found in two conditions. Ruh Mujra, the conscious, liberated soul, and the ruh Tarkibi, the conditioned soul. We also say that Baddha Jivatma and Mukta Jivatma. Why we refer to the spirit of Chitta? What we refer? We call it Mujra. Like we understood that we are spirit soul, we always say. And that's why spiritual is very important. As soon as you perform some ritual, you perform and go and ring a bell in the temple. As soon as you go and perform, you ring a bell in the temple, that is the activity. But then you are not having any consciousness behind it, just somebody told you go it. But as soon as you understand, as soon as you ring a bell, God is watching me, He's happy. It becomes a spiritual. So what is this spiritual? As soon as there is a spirit behind it, it becomes spiritual. So what is that spirit? Is in their religion they call it as Mujra. What you refer to as matter, Achita, as a jism. So this needs a lot of discussion, which will come later. So similarly, there is a comparison between Christianity and Sanatana Dharma also. So Prabhupada putting here the abode of mind, sorry, Krishna is saying the abode of mind is not illuminated by sun or moon, nor by electricity. One who reaches it never returns to this material world. Anybody knows this verse? न शशांको न पावकः तद्धाम परमो मम यद्गत्वा निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमो मम. You say that there is a place, is a spiritual abode which does not need electricity. It is self-illuminated. It does not need even sun and moon also. That is the spiritual sky. It is self-illuminated. Very amazing. And once somebody reaches to that of the particular place, he does not come back. So we saw this about the Sanatana. And there shall be no night there, and they need no candles, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God gives them light, and they shall regain forever and ever. So similar understanding they also have, which is given in the Bible. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and nominal, is by knowing which there shall remain nothing further to be known. Krishna is saying that I am explaining about spiritual and material world, and there is no need to understand anything else more than that. There is much that I have to tell, but you cannot bear it now. So Jesus says about the Bible, he said that I am a son of God, and there is much to tell, but you people cannot bear it. You cannot understand it, and that's why I cannot. And then Krishna is saying, I have spoken to you about the material sky and the spiritual sky, and there is nothing further to tell about it. That's why our Vedic religion has given the best of the knowledge, and we have to follow this knowledge wholeheartedly. Different religions, same message. Depth of the Vedic knowledge, depth, variability, and inconceivable information in the Vedas is far greater than other scriptures. And that's why Vedas talk about everything. I always say about this that Veda has a two wings. If you say Veda, it is Vidya and Avidya. What is Avidya? Avidya is also part of Vedas, and it's very important, which talks about how to maintain this body. There is Arthashastra, there is Vastu Shastra, there is Ayurveda, there is astrology, there's so much. It all talks about architecture, it talks about medical science, it talks about astrology, it talks about so much, which is helping us to maintain this body nicely, which is not directly the knowledge of God, but it is given in Vedas. And that's a very valuable knowledge, which is a complete knowledge. And what is Vidya? Vidya talks about knowledge about God, connection about the God, science of self-realization. It's spoken there. And that's why Vedas have so much depth in the knowledge that it can help us to grow in varieties of ways. God said, let there be light, and there was a light. God said, let there be earth, and there was a earth. Srimad Bhagavatam, on the other hand, gives a step-by-step information of the creation. So they say, the Christianity said, and God said, let there be light, and the light came. God said, there be earth, and then the earth came. But then Srimad Bhagavatam just doesn't speak about it. Srimad Bhagavatam goes into a detail and speaks about how this creation came, how these hills came, how this river came, how the earth planet came, and then how the so many other planets came, and then whatever they have this understanding about the whole creation, how this creation came into existence, the Brahmanda, and in that Brahmanda, so many planets, 14 planetary system, and then lakhs of Brahmanda. There's a detailed description given in Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's why the Sanatana Dharma knowledge or Vedic knowledge has great depth in it. Many religions say God is great, God is love, God is almighty, but they hardly give any information about how God is the greatest person, how he can reciprocate love with his devotee through colorful pastime. So that's the greatness of this Vedic knowledge. So we will stop here because it's 8:30 now, and we will continue this again, and we will also discover chanting the Hare Krishna Mahantra in next session, which is very important. So I request all of you to please be there for next session also. It's 8:30 now. We will stop here. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I get water?